Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing well. In this lesson, we will have an introduction to Westlaw and case law research. There are two major computerized legal research engines. One is called LexisNexis, in short, in the industry referred to it as Lexis, and the other is Westlaw. We are fortunate that FCC provides all legal studies students with a Westlaw account for your duration of your program. So once you hit legal research and you are a declared major, we'll get you an account and you'll be able to use it for the remainder of your legal studies. Why Westlaw? We actually did a survey of local employers and those in the surrounding area and found that the majority were using Westlaw. One system isn't necessarily better than the other. What you will find is it's often a matter of preference. People tend to like what they were originally trained on, but you will find that the skills that you use in one are easily transferable to the other. And many of your textbooks will come with a limited subscription or free trial period, if you will, of Lexis. So you can actually practice in both. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get on Westlaw, and you should have received your registration key information by email from me. So if you have not already done so, stop the recording, go ahead and set up your account, and then resume. So in order to get started, I want you to keep in mind we have a contractual relationship with Westlaw. You must agree to the terms and conditions prior to doing any search. So go ahead and read the terms and conditions and select I agree and then continue. And I was signed out too long, so I need to go ahead and do that again. When conducting a search, you will typically enter a client name. Here I've entered Walker, or a client number so that we can bill the client for the time spent researching on this system. Ethically, it's important that you stay focused and only do the work associated with the client that you've entered into the system. I'd like you to note on your right, you will actually see some of your prior searches come up. So after you put in the client name, go ahead and make up one, select continue. We are going to be typing search information into the search bar. And whenever we want to return to the home page, we're going to go ahead and select, click on the logo here, the Westlaw Classics. And again, what I'm intending to do is to give you a quick overview to get you started. You're going to have videos from Westlaw to reinforce material. There's more to come from me on Westlaw as well. There are many ways to locate cases and perform case law research on Westlaw. In this recording, you will learn how to locate authority you need by using the citation for the case, using the names of the parties, and using descriptive words or plain language. In addition, I'm going to periodically make connections to other content that you're learning within this course and perhaps other courses in the program. So again, the focus is on case law research. I want you to keep in mind that there are several synonyms used when we're talking about case law. You might also hear cases referred to as opinions, court opinions, and also decisions. So I may use those words interchangeably throughout the lesson. Keep in mind, we're in the judicial branch. We're talking about court cases. So let's start with finding a case by citation. To find a case by its citation, you simply type the citation in the search box and select enter or search. And you can type in the citation without the case name. So let's take this one, for example, 410 US. You don't have to use capital letters. I'm going to put a space though. 113. And then you can select enter or search. And the case here is Roe versus Wade. I'm just going to scroll through this a little bit. And as I do, I want you to pay attention to what you've already learned. So you've had to label the components or the elements of a case. So for example, you have the case name, got a docket number, here's your synopsis, the author of the opinion, you have your head notes. And if you keep going through, you'll actually get to the opinion itself, and then you'll end with the disposition. So this is what you're already learning. If you look at the toolbar, I just want to point out a couple of quick features that are available to you. You can expand your screen and go to full screen here. And then if you want to minimize it, just select again. In terms of deliverables, if you want to, different ways you can deliver your research. So if I have this case and I want to get it to me outside of the system, I could email it, I can print it, download it, and so forth. I encourage you to go ahead and type in a citation and then email it to yourself. So here, if I go on and select email, I have my college email in. My subject is the case I actually found. I can type notes to myself. Use this. And then I can go ahead and email it. I could have selected the format. Actually, let me go back here. I can show you. I could have selected the format. So I chose to have it in a PDF. You could have it come as a Word doc. You could even go into WordPerfect. So you can pick the format as well. You can save to folders. You can get your citations and copy. Here you can do annotations. So if you want to make notes on the file or on this case as you're going along, you can go ahead and do so. So as you are doing your assignment, I encourage you to utilize some of these tools just to become familiar. We talk a lot about ethics and staying focused and being efficient. I also want you to balance that with spending the time you need to become comfortable with the system. So let's go back to the home page. And we know we were working with the case Roe v. Wade. So let's suppose that we wanted to pull a case by party name. All you have to do is begin typing the name in the search bar, and then suggestions are going to appear and you select your authority from the options presented. So let's type in Roe v. And you see that they start to populate. We've got a couple of options. So I'm going to keep going. And you'll see that you have your options there. And often when you search, you're going to get several hits. So then what you do as a researcher is you go ahead, if you don't know right away, oh, I want this first one, you'll have to go in and you'll have to peruse the information and figure out what documents you actually need. So here, I'm just going to take the first one and we're back to the court opinion. I'm going to go back to the home screen. And now we're going to find a case by using descriptive words or plain language. Let's change the example. So we're going to go back to, oh gosh, 1996. So in an effort to protect children from adult programming, Congress implemented a section, or Section 505, to the Telecommunications Act of 1996. And the portion of the law sought to protect children from signal bleeds. Depending on your age, you might recall signal bleeding on television, those fuzzy images, and usually you could understand the audio. So if you weren't a subscriber, you may be able to see the imaging through a signal bleed. And you could access this all through television. So what Congress was concerned about was that there was adult programming airing when children could actually get access to it through these signal bleeds. So by making an additional section to the Telecommunications Act, cable providers had to either fully scramble or only air adult programming when children were asleep between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. So this created a hardship, financial hardship for cable providers and Playboy, and eventually Playboy sued the government. This case made its way to the Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court, and in a 5-4 decision, the court said that the government went too far and infringed on Playboy's First Amendment rights. It's important to note that companies are considered fictitious people under the law. So they have rights, they can be sued, they can be criminally liable. So in this case, our fictitious person, Playboy, the entity, had its First Amendment rights infringed upon. So now that you have some background, let's search by creating a descriptive word list and plug in those words into the search bar. So the first step is going to be creating a list. And here I want you to revisit what we did early on the first week of the semester. And I want you to use the material that you've learned, the skills that you've learned or are developing on how to create an effective word list. So you're going to pull out single words to start. You're going to use synonyms. If you have a phrase or a law you want to use, go ahead and do that. Let's just go ahead and create your list. And I actually have, the words I'm going to put in for this search. So once you have your list, the next thing you're going to do is called a Boolean search. So you're going to take those descriptive words and connect them using what we call terms and connectors. We're not going to have a lesson on that now. So essentially, I want you to know that you can use the word and or the and symbol to connect your terms. If you are using a phrase or word, more than one word that you want found together, put it in parentheses. I'm sorry, quotation marks. So let's go ahead and try. I'm going to connect Playboy and television. And then I'm going to use quotation marks because I'm going to go signal, bleed, enter. And there it is, the second, US versus Playboy Entertainment Group. And here is the case. Again, you can revisit what you've already learned about the elements of a case. And I'd also like you to recall that you were introduced to the concept of official and unofficial publications and parallel citations. So if we're talking about United States Supreme Court cases, you've learned that there are 3 sources, reporters where Supreme Court cases, United States Supreme Court cases are published. And so I'm going to show you something quickly here before we wrap up this lesson. If I'm going to go to the official publication, which is abbreviated US, I can go 529 US 803. And it takes me to the Playboy case. You'll see that I'm provided the 120 SCT citation. That's because we are in Westlaw, and the Supreme Court reporter is the Westlaw unofficial publication. The US is a government published reporter, so that's the official. This is an unofficial. And if we go back and I use the 3rd place United States Supreme Court cases are published, 146 L ED 2D 865. Enter. You'll see that it takes us right back to the case. So what I showed you was the official citation and then the 2 unofficial. It's the same law. It's all primary authority. We're just finding the same law, the Playboy case, in multiple publications. So this concludes our lesson on case law research. This is just to get you started. And what you'll have to do is find the law based on the questions you're asked. And then you're going to have to work through reading some cases and giving me some answers to questions. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Our law library is open anytime the college is open, and we can connect if you need some tutoring. And it's also a good idea to check out the print materials, because in the industry you use both. I look forward to seeing your work. Take care.